Well,
So
then
any form of disciplinary action is what it says.
Well, yeah, but did he mention it's any form of DA or just verbal warning
It says
plus?
It says any form of disciplinary action which would equal a verbal warning or above, like verbal warning plus.
It says any form of disciplinary action which would equal a verbal warning plus.
So, in my understanding, that'd be a verbal warning or above.
Okay. Okay. Keeping that apart, I would say at least for this one, just do a verbal, and
I agree, Sam.
And in regards to termination, have Wade in here or contact him after this, and then see what he wants to do. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay.
Well, just contact Wade right now and say I need a definitive answer. It doesn't mean a 90 or a 93, or does it literally mean verbal? Like, does it mean any DA, as in verbal warning, 90, 93, anything? And see what he says.
Is Wade replying to your DMs?
Not yet. I just asked him. I said I need a definitive answer. If he gets a verbal, is it a termination?
I would give it a minute or two, and because if he's, do you think he'll respond?
I think he will pretty quickly.
If he doesn't, then just do a verbal for now, and then we'll talk about the termination later once Wade is here. I think if you just terminate him now without having Wade's confirmation, I don't think that's right.
I mean, whenever I told him it'll be a minimum of verbal warning, he said it was. Then he would need to be terminated.
Let's just wait for it to be definitive, because
Yeah,
there's a couple people that are confused on this. So
I'd rather wait for Wade to give a complete answer, and then talk about termination.
I agree.
So yeah, if Wade doesn't get back to you in a minute or two, just issue the verbal to Dre, and then we'll look into the termination later after this recording of the staffing.
Is Wade on Discord or no? I mean, I'd say give him a minute or two, and if he doesn't respond, we'll issue a verbal, and then follow up with it after.
He must be shitting his pants in the waiting room.
Yeah.
But yeah, because the condition's on his thing, so he knows about it.
Yeah, I did his interview, so he was very aware when he did the interview because Wade was there.
So what did he say? Like, what was his reasoning about this, incident?
Well, because he was terminated before. I don't know if he was terminated or been.
Are you asking about the reasoning for the pursuit?
Yeah, why did he
he had no reasoning really.
But is he aware of the policies? I mean, the last time he was here, we still had the no motorcycle pursuit policy.
That's the argument I made, and then Alex said I can't make that argument because let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say he didn't know.
Because Sam, I mean, the last time he was in this community was almost 200 days ago, and it's likely.
I listened to the whole thing when you said that. Yeah. But to Chris's point again, he also just came out of his training, which means he should get a refresh.
Yeah, that's why I said that's the better argument of him knowing versus saying, formerly. I wouldn't argue that, but I would most certainly argue that now that he's a fully fledged officer and he's taken this and he's opened himself up to the responsibility of being aware of those policies. If he's going to activate his MP, then yes, he needs to know those policies.
And if we end up issuing a verbal, I would probably tell him very clearly that the only reason he's getting a verbal today is because we don't know if his condition of allows him to get terminated with a verbal. Just because we're not sure of that, he's not getting terminated today.
Hey, John, let me ask you this. During the interview, how did Wade explain it to him?
I can pull up the recording, I think.
Pull up the recording and see what he says in the recording.
Let me do that.
Because that would help out a lot. Because then even if Wade doesn't reply, we've got a definitive answer. If he explains it, saying any disciplinary action, including a verbal warning.
Yeah, give me a second to go find it.
Alright, I guess we'll just go with the verbal.
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah, just bring him in and show it.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Let me grab everything.
All right, since y'all can only have 3 when he's in here, I'll head out since Sam, you're here and you're best to handle the department.
Yeah, Chris, do you still need me?
No, y'all. Should be good.
Alex,
you guys.
you want to go to my office?
Yeah.
Alright, Dre, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. After reviewing all the evidence and everything, we're going to be issuing a verbal warning, okay? So,
Okay.
there is the verbal warning notification form. Within there, it gives you all the information regarding a verbal warning. It's placed out in your record. It's not a promotional hold. It's not a patrol restriction. Please make sure you review department policies and structures. I do want to make it clear that if you're pulled back into a staff room, you'll most likely be terminated. Okay.
Okay.
That first link is a disciplinary action appeal form. If you feel like this disciplinary action was unjust or unnecessary, please file that, and it'll be reviewed by a third party. There's the internal affairs complaint form. If you feel like this was targeted towards you or you'd like to report me or John or anyone else involved in the investigation, then you can feel free to file that. It'll be reviewed by a third party, okay?
Alrighty.
Like I said, I want to emphasize, this probably should have been a termination. I'm going to be honest with you. Reading your condition. You remember the condition?
Yeah.
Okay. So, with that being said, be very careful with what you do in server. Because if you get another complaint that's realistic and reasonable, then it'll probably result in termination. Okay?
Okay.
Alright. I'm going to move you down. You're good to go.
Alrighty.
And the recording's 2:49 p.m. Central Standard Time.